CNN plays Harry Potter game. Okay, we're done with Hogwarts Legacy. Let's watch this debate.
Okay, I'm doing nuts. Okay,
it's debate review. Most critical debates XQC on the Dhar Mann situation. Oh, this is my favorite type of content.
Okay, I'll either give a supporting take or another take.
Pee real quick. I'll be back.
Sometimes it's aligned or something neutral. I watched it in the video, and maybe it's because of my fundamentals. I genuinely didn't agree with it. Your takes. Is that fair enough or not?
That's totally fine. This is one that I'm a little surprised to hear, though, because I feel like this is just a really basic, not controversial take at all.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I see a big fallacy. Okay, it's like a slippery slope. It's like a slippery slope coming up. Okay, to me, it feels like the argument is like, yo, dude, they work for something that is very successful and makes a lot of money. Therefore, they're entitled to more. Just like, let's say, Amazon is popping off. They're like $1 trillion company, right? Well, technically, the dude could, Bezos could afford to make every employee $150K a year, right? Without affecting much of the company's worth. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, should he? Probably not. That's just my take.
So I can see why you'd want to draw that comparison. It's just in this field that's not really apt. So the actors are being paid, as I understand it, almost exactly what they were being paid when the channel made $0, had 0 subscribers, and they were contractors as opposed to employees, which isn't unusual, especially for that kind of field.
Yeah, but well, you know how much that is? I don't cut you off. I want to make some quick maths there. Did they ever release how much they're making?
Quick maths.
How many hours that they're working on? Because I watched the video and I couldn't take it at face value because I feel like there's a lot loaded in here that isn't being unpacked.
Dude, I love thinking that XQC is just taking this position because he's like an avid Dhar Mann fan, and for no other reason. I don't think that's the case, but I do like thinking that. You know what I mean? He's like, no, I have to defend Dhar Mann. Like, he is my favorite content creator.
Because maybe you know more than I do, so your opinion is more strong about it. Because when I look at it, right, with the info I'm given,
can you provide context for the uninformed? Yes. Dhar Mann is a massive, internationally successful YouTube content creator who's basically defined an entire genre on its own. Dhar Mann makes like super easy to consume like videos that are very stupid. Okay, like they're incredibly stupid. As someone who crewed at Dhar Mann, XQC doesn't even know how bad it is. Crew side, we've only covered what it's like for the actors, and not even crew side. It was literally a YouTube sweatshop for the crew. They only cared about views and 0 care about the quality. Yeah. He appeals to those who do not speak native English language. So XQC, you are making a very good point. Hassan's HRT dealer, maybe that's the reason why. He makes videos where it's like, you know, a bully, here's what happens when a bully goes too far, and then the bully's victim turns around and like flexes on them with wads of cash. It's incredibly stupid. Lost half his brain in the divorce. And I mean, that's like that. By the way, the thing that I explained to you is a real video starring SSS Sniper Wolf. So if you want to check that out on your own time, you can do so. Anyway, turns out he, shockingly, is not paying his actors or his crew all too well. Now, this is a common practice for YouTube channels in general. It's common practice for the internet space in general. But it's additionally weird for Dhar Mann because, like, one, he has, I guess, cultivated like an overall positive outlook. Like, people perceive him as like a positive person, which I don't know why, but like if you watch his content, it's like kind of odd to think that. But overall positive image, yes. But also because like he makes a lot of money, not just on his YouTube videos that are insanely successful, but also a lot of money on merchandise and a lot of money on, it's like a relatively low budget operation that churns out a fuckload of money because like they're repurposing it on, wait, this is the best gift from Dhar Mann?
Oh my God.
No, this is not a Darman video. This is a Darman wannabe clip. Anyway, we're not going to cover that. Yeah, he makes a lot of views. He makes a lot of money and generates a lot of views on Facebook as well.
I could not come to the same conclusion as you.
No, so you mean like actual figures? Have they released their salaries?
Yeah.
No. And as far as how much they're working, you can only speculate. But since Darman uses the same actors and contracts them as opposed to puts them on payroll, you can kind of extrapolate that since...
Look, this is some of the videos. Black lady mistreated by her boss. What happens next is shocking. Male boss treats female employees unfair at work. He lives to regret it. Evil boss mistreats his worker. Mean bosses mistreating employees. They live to regret it. And like, look at the views. Like 12 million, 5 million, 11 million, 20 million. And then another 100 million on Facebook.
For example, Colin, who plays Steve in most of the content, I think he's been in roughly like at least, and this is a ballpark, like 40% of his videos in some capacity. That's still a lot of hours. Like that's a decent chunk of hours. And he is not getting paid the standard that an actor working those hours would be paid. And the reason there's a protest is because they understand like they're not entitled to more money, though I think it's only fair given the work they put in, and as it's grown so much, Darman being in his position would want to take care of his actors. The reason they're protesting is because he refuses to even speak with them on their payroll and instead fires them if they bring it up, or dodges them since he's pushed their last 3 meetings and then just completely canceled the 4th. So the reason specifically for the protest isn't even the suboptimal pay, it's the fact that he will not even talk to them about it. And if you bring it up, you get fired.
Yeah, so I agree with that. I agree with that part. The only thing I agree with.
Why won't I debate critical on what we agree? Well, we would just be like sitting across from one another agreeing.
The other meetings, I mean, is shit. It's just trash because it feels like you're kind of baiting and stretching, right? Like you say, oh, a problem exists, let's talk about it, and you delay it while they're still working. So yeah, then I agree with that 100%. As soon as that happened, I said, yeah, that's shit because you shouldn't be doing that. Right. I just felt like it was hard to have the conclusion because what is this like LA based?
Yeah, so Darman Studios is LA based, yeah. So they have 3 sound stages in Burbank, I believe.
Okay. So it felt to me that LA rent is it's a disaster. So I was like, okay, well, rent is probably really fucking high, right? And based on the hours, I mean, I saw a lot of employees over there. There was a lot they protesting. A lot of them are over there, right? And I was like, well, if the concern is that they can't pay rent and they're contractors, right? I'm like, but there might be people that are over there. How much hours could they be realistically be putting in? And I'd be like, well, of course you can't pay rent of the salary of this one YouTube channel's like intermittent appearances. I mean, that's there's not much you can do here. Like,
yeah. So I think I see what's going. I think you're under the impression that what they're looking for is a like full-time job salary to cover everything. As I understand it, that's not really the case. So all of these people, they are contractors. They're not employees. They're not allowed to be employees for Darman. But they have other job opportunities, I imagine, other income sources. But the pay that they're receiving from Darman is not industry standard, and it's not acceptable for the amount of work they're putting in. Like the amount of hours they're doing with their work for him is not being compensated fairly by Darman. That's where the issue stems from.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, then the thing's point. Say if they're contractors, did they agree to a contract? What happened in between this time that they signed for something that they're going to be paid a certain amount for a certain amount of hours, and then why are they upset now? Is it because the channel's more successful and there's more money to be made, but they're not getting a portion of it that they think it's fair? I mean, in my opinion, the way I feel about it, if I'm coming into a job as a contractor and they're telling me, hey, you're gonna be paid $20 an hour and you're gonna be working 8 hours a week, flat, right? So that's all I can offer you, right? And I say yes, well, I have to come to terms with the fact that I'll be paid $20 an hour, 8 hours a week, flat. End of story, right? If that's not adequate for me anymore, right? Well, I quit.
Well, so that's the stage they're reaching. But they're not quitting, they're getting fired for trying to negotiate. So as this has scaled up, the productions have scaled up, he's releasing multiple videos a week, their hours have scaled up, but their contract.
So he hit him with a classic, well, they paid they signed a contract, like, suck it up. You know what I mean? Which, you know, you can renegotiate, and you should be able to renegotiate. And if you're not able to renegotiate and you get fired, then I think it's valid to, you know, be upset about that.
And their pay haven't reflected the extra work that's going into it. But instead of being able to talk about it to, like, negotiate a more fair pay, a better rate for their work, he's just firing them or refusing to talk to them.
Well, I didn't see that. I wish there was like a video explaining that. So, from what I saw, I think this comes from a position where you know more than the video that's on. Because with what I'm getting in the video, I don't have enough to make these conclusions. I just don't. Like, even the guy talking.
Wait,
what?
Saying, why?
I don't do with it at face value.
About so when he says, like, we're taking on all of these hours, we're taking on these jobs for Darman, but we can't afford to even have this, like, help with our rent. That's not, like, an alarming thing for you to hear, because I think even just taking it at face value, it's like, you would think for something this successful with this many appearances throughout all of this content that's generating this level of income on the back of their talent that's been there since the start, you would think that they'd be on some kind of good payment system, right? Like, wouldn't you try and draw that conclusion? Like, for example, this is a stupid comparison, but I'm going to go big here. And I think for Darman, it's kind of fair. Someone like Steve is a star. In the same way that Robert Downey Jr. was a star for Marvel, would you expect him to be working for the same pay as that continued to scale up as he was at the beginning? Because I think the answer should be no.
Oh, yeah. That was complicated.
He's right, and he should say it. Steve is the Robert Downey Jr. of the Dharma. Dude. Has XC worked in his life? Yes, he has. Yeah, he's actually done more than the average Twitch streamer has, surprisingly. This motherfucker had didn't he have what did he have? I think he had a commercial driver's license, maybe even? No. He was a janitor, and he was forklift certified, yeah.
Complicated. Wait, the what?
Darman's content has been built off the back of the same actors and actresses at the same rate without ever scaling.
Bro, this dude is okay, Charlie, you are a communist, okay? You better fucking dial it back a little bit. This motherfucker's moving into my territory saying Darman's content has been built off the back of his laborers. What the fuck? You have nothing to lose but your chains? What are you saying right now? What kind of fucking... What is this? Bro, chill, okay? Dial it back, Charlie. Calm down, okay?
Scaling up as everything else is scaled up.
You don't see me making fucking penis jokes, like eloquent penis jokes about, I don't know, some other fucking TikTok drama every goddamn day, okay?
Much in the same way that Marvel scaled up from Robert Downey Jr., thus they needed to pay him more as things went on and his hours increased, his workload increased. That's just the way things work as they grow.
Okay, no. That is not, okay, so that is a terrible comparison. Sorry to cook you on this one.
Jess is more humble than you, socialist. Yeah, exactly. Which I know you think is like, I assume you're joking, right? Or maybe you made that like as a serious own. But like, you know, we both know that he is worth a lot more than me.
Because that's what we call...
It's funny, though, because like a lot of people would probably say that. Like, they'd be like, dude, Charlie fucking doesn't spend his money like you do, you fucking idiot. And it's like, dude, he has spent like $1 million on fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards, no? Like, no, I'm making that number up. But like, and also, he can if he wants to. He is... a lot more wealthy than I am. He's been a YouTube legend for a fucking decade. He owns an esports team.
In that,
but they can't do that. They can't because he's shutting it down. Exactly. He's firing them.
Well, I mean, they have no leverage. That's how it is. Of course, Robert Downey Jr., if he shows himself to be a better actor, he's more needed. So therefore, he can only get a certain roles per amount of year. So his value, right, it increases. So then he can use the other films as leverage, right, against his current person that wants him to stay and say, yo, dude, If I spend my time over there, I'd be making double money. So I'm worth this much right now, right? If you want to pay that, you can pay that, right? Otherwise, I'm not working here anymore, right? These guys have no leverage, right? He could, a jar man on paper could literally go to Craigslist and get anybody show up for fucking $80, right? And that person will show up and will do the work that these guys are putting in, and we'll probably get the same amount of results.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally okay. So XQC is making, dude. This is why, one, capitalism is inherently right wing, and two, everyone without even recognizing it sees it as the default position. Because what XQC is advocating for currently is just that this is low skill labor. The value of your labor is dependent on how replaceable you are. Okay. He probably doesn't even realize that he's saying that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it is quite literally just the most basic concept that we have internalized without even thinking about it. If you were to turn around and like flip the script on him and be like, you are a contracted laborer for Twitch, you could make an argument to help him understand a little bit better too.
With the amount of the quality of acting that is in those videos.
This is why I hate how generous you are with people like XQC. Okay. This is why I'm right and you're wrong. You have to be generous because he is not a bad person overall. Most people are not evil, even if they are unintentionally or intentionally advocating for a style of governance that you have declared to be evil. Okay. We are products of our environment.
Yeah, but that's also not
he isn't malicious. He's indoctrinated. Exactly.
Point. Like he could find 15 high school students to do it for free, but does that make it right or fair to the actors? That's more the argument, not so much like can it get done with people that are lesser.
Okay, this will be like an exploitator behavior answer. I think that's still fine. If they say they want to do it, and they say yeah, then fuck it. It's like if I'm unpacking something in my car. So he said, and some fucking, I don't know, some like adolescent shows up, like 16-year-old dude is like, hey, you need help with that? I'm like, yeah, right? I mean, he agreed to help for free, right? I mean, I don't owe him shit. Even if though I made him lift the fucking...
XQC describing literally how like the entire third world and social democracies exist. Okay? He's just like the mentality that he is describing is unironically one that is such a permanent staple in our lives, whether we recognize it or not, which is just, yeah, you know, it's making the labor aristocracy live a life of ease and comfort.
Diamond worth 20 mil, I have to pay him shit, right? If somebody agrees to do something for a certain rate or something, which is
it's in every capitalist nation, not just social democracy. Right? Yes, you are right.
I mean, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, when I was a kid, I did acting for some college students like 4 times for free. They only like give me fucking like a lunch, something like that. I agreed to that. I was okay with that. I didn't feel scammed. That's kind of how I feel about it. And if I were to go into a contract where certain hours, like if these guys were like let on.
Okay, that's why pay is supposed to scale, right? Like that's why Steve deserves more of a percentage of the profits that he's generating than like some guy who's just coming in. Now, the base pay should be higher regardless. That can always be elevated depending on what what the product is, depending on what the output is, right? But it's perfectly understandable and reasonable to which is what the argument Charlie was making, improve your pay as the product scales and as you know, your experience in the workforce scales. So comparing that to like, you know, someone just like taking on a free role in a movie or whatever for the memes is not correct because this is Steve's job and livelihood.
And they would be paid more, and they got scammed. It's a whole different ballgame. But if they agree on something, they don't agree. If they got promised something that the employer doesn't, and they don't agree with the pay anymore, well, that's on them.
Well,
right?
Yeah, but at this point, you're making arguments for finding like the lowest possible payment for the same work. Like at this point, you're like almost making a sweatshop argument. Like, why pay for these workers when I can just pay like almost nothing for these workers? It's not like, I mean, the work gets done, but I mean, is a sweatshop a good thing?
Okay, that's not a good thing. The government protects in this country against sweatshops.
No, it doesn't.
The government.
No, it doesn't. No, no. You would think. One would think that it does.
That goes. It's why the sweatshops exist. Is that they go into other countries where laws are different, and then they zone it out, and then people work under circumstances, under pay, under hours that wouldn't fly in the United States, right? But we are in the United States.
Nope, that's not the case. Nope, nope. Bro, Hyundai had a facility in Alabama where there were 12-year-olds working on the assembly line, okay? 12-year-olds. It's not a joke. 12, 13, and 14-year-olds were working on the assembly line in a Hyundai facility inside of the United States of America in Alabama. What do you mean when? Like 2 months ago, brother. He said when. What, you think I meant like fucking 1876? What? Oh, and then more, a Reuters special report found that child workers were found throughout the Hyundai Kia supply chain in Alabama. Not just one facility, but multiple facilities. At least 4 major suppliers of Hyundai Motor Co. and sister Kia Core have employed child labor at Alabama factories in recent years. Yep.
In this case, right? So they are protected by certain things, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely protections in place, 100%.
So I just don't feel like, without getting the exact numbers, that I can take these guys' arguments.
The very conversation that XQC is having with Charlie right now would never even exist if there were adequate protections for labor in this country, which is kind of funny, but we've already like given up on that notion. Kids at meat packing plants as well, of course. Like, this would not even be a point of consideration if we had adequate labor protection in this country. No one would be like literally fucking going, oh man, I really don't. I'm not saying workplace disputes would not happen, but like very clearly the fact that like contracting of this sort for like permanent employees where they're not being adequately compensated is a point of contention, is a point of conversation, is an implication that it's not working, that it doesn't exist.
At face value, without like actually seeing at least some sort of data, and then making conclusions is very bad. I feel like this is like, I don't know. I except for the part where he doesn't show up to meetings, which I think is fucking lame as shit. Okay, I feel like I've done the same by accident or because of lack of professionalism to my editors. Where I've like I say, yo, yeah, I'll be around like in a minute, and then I don't talk to them for like a day, a week, sometimes fucking 2 months. I talk to them, these motherfuckers. But bro, that's like lack of professionalism, right? Like it happens sometimes. Like I don't think it's a massive problem. Okay, but I'm not putting myself in the equation. I just feel like, except for that part, which is bad, right? It's bad. It's bad.
Wait, what did I miss? What did he say?
I don't think it's a massive. Bro, that's like lack of professionalism, right? Like it happens sometimes. Like I don't think it's a massive problem. Okay, but I'm not putting myself in the equation. I just feel like, except for that part, which is bad. Right? It's bad. It's bad to not show up to your meetings and be baited like that. I fail to see what the problem is.
So
Professionalism.
I'll try and like gauge this a little more something like in this wheelhouse. You mentioned editors. Do you have the same editors now as you did when you, let's say, do you have the same editors now as you did last year?
I've had one editor from when the channel was nothing to something, and I hired somebody. I had on top, now I have 2, and the new guy has taken the something to something greater because of combined workload and different.
Oh, he said he forgets to pay his editors sometimes for 2 months. Because, okay, to be fair, I'm very bad at responding as well. I like
philosophies, right? So now we have 2, but they've been there pretty much for the whole ride. When it was making nothing, to a little bit, to a lot, right?
So the guy that started when you were nothing, is he being paid right now what he was when you were making nothing?
Oh, he's being paid more with a agreed upon adaptive pay of 15%.
Okay, but you see like how that pay has increased and he's been there from the beginning as it grew. Like you see that.
Yeah. But that's because, that okay. So like I said, it's adaptive.
POV, you're an XQC editor and you haven't heard from your boss in months. I love their operation, dude. It's fucking awesome.
Right? Because I want them to be motivated to do more and do better, and to like keep up with like in the industry and how it's going. Like if they work more, they're paid more. I feel like this is a different ball game. These people are contracted to show up for something, and they do it very daft, right?
Well,
Borger, don't say that. You usually respond in a day or two. 2 months is crazy. Okay, chill, dude. I have a reputation to uphold as one who starves his editors, okay? Morally bankrupt. As a morally bankrupt phony.
So bad by like our definitions of the acting is cringy, but they are doing exactly what they're paid to and exactly as directed. Steve, Colin.
Which this is funny though, because like Charlie already made the argument and XQC already acknowledged that like, yeah, their pays have scaled. You know what I mean? Like, so you get it. You understand. You already do it.
He is an...
But he also said that like, he also basically said that he is, he also basically said that like he previously agreed upon it. Well, okay, that's the point. Like, you should agree upon it. You know what I mean? You should, like, the Darman universe hasn't. That's the problem.
An actor outside of Darman. He's been in Better Call Saul. He's had minor roles in bigger things. Like, he is an actor.
Okay.
Like, they are doing the work as they are supposed to do it, the way they're supposed to do it. They're not doing a bad job. It's not like he's docking their pay because their performance is bad. Sorry, I had a burp in my mouth. Like, they are doing exactly what they need to be doing. So this isn't a matter of like them being bad at their jobs.
Yeah, exactly. So if the guy, so this guy has Better Call Saul tier jobs and other ones, and then he still works for the Darman cringe guy, right? Then why doesn't he quit that job if his time is more valuable now?
Well, I mean, they're getting fired because they're trying to negotiate. Like, as it grew, they are proud of the work. They were there from the beginning. Colin told the story about how original Darman videos were filmed at his apartment complex in a garage, this and that. And then as it grew, they wanted to stick with it because they felt like part of the team, part of the family. It's reached the point where over the last however long, they've tried to...
Like, one thing I'll mention is my editors, well, one of them's in the chat right now, weren't as good now, and they're fucking incredible now, right? I think everyone acknowledges that, and everyone recognizes that. My editors weren't as good when we first started working together. Like, my channel wasn't that good. We were just growing together. And I think, like, there is value. There is a lot of value to, like, retention of that sort, even from a capitalist perspective. You know what I mean? Like, and that gets lost in a lot of instances. Like, yeah, I could fucking, you know, the editing is you know, it can be a very artistic job, as I think, like, especially in my field, I need someone who has like similar perspectives on the world, you know what I mean, who can like cut through the content and find like the perfect moments and turn it into like readable, turn it into like digestible 20-minute bits, you know what I mean? And that's not super easy, but like ultimately it's still editing, right? Plenty of people in the Hasanabi Clips Industrial Complex do it. But I think that the content would suffer if I didn't have such long-term, committed, consistent, and very good editors who like keep basically you know, moving the needle, keep pushing the boundaries, keep making better and better content overall. You know what I mean? I thought the job of your editors was to get you in hot water. No, it's not.
To negotiate better pay because they're putting in so much more work, so many more hours.
Fair enough.
Obviously,
You know
the
what?
product is a lot better, but he's not letting them negotiate. Instead of adjusting pay or listening, he's firing them. Like on the spot, just firing them.
Fair enough. Okay, then okay. You know what? Fuck it. I have a different argument that will maybe make you feel like scaling up could be a problem. But scaling down. What happens if Darman gets canceled or some shit, right? Because he I don't know, he pierced allegedly somebody's car a tire with a piece of glass, okay? And then now the channel, okay, makes 2K views a month. Should their pay be scaled down?
That'd be a negotiation between them and the actors. That'd be a communication thing. Yeah, that'd be entirely up to them. But so, for example, let's say you have a colossal fall off. You get canceled. Your fucking nutsack butthole pics leak on Twitter, whatever. You get canceled. Your channel's not making anything anymore. Are you gonna stop paying your editor?
Well, the pay's adaptive. So I mean, if they want to work, they can. But I mean, they'll be editing hour-long videos for like 20 cents an hour on average. So I mean, they will quit, and they should, right? They should. They should leave me to dry, because that's how the world works, right? We agree to something, and it currently works for both of us.
This person, I have a feeling XQC doesn't pay his editor as well. You are wrong. The Twitch streamers, at least that I've encountered, are very. you will see editor pay drama at like lower scales on Twitch when people are like growing and stuff. I myself, as you guys famously know, had a brief stint on that too, but no, it's not. Most Twitch streamers are, they're paying pretty well, including XQC.
So it doesn't work anymore. Well, now they quit because they're not paid anymore. They should throw me under the bus in terms of like.
That's why it's funny, because he's like, yeah, such a good person, dog. Motherfuckers debate lording pro-slavery. Yeah, he's doing that while simultaneously he's paying his editor as well.
Financially, people that I hire, right? I expect them to throw me under the bus, right? When things get bad and go bad, the same way I expect myself to throw them under the bus when shit gets bad. I think it's called business. It's called business relationships.
But when you say it this way, do you realize like the more you say things like this, the more it seems like you are legitimately having the same thought process as the people who end up using like sweatshops, slave labor, that kind of thing, right? You're looking for the cheapest way of getting the labor.
X's take seems to boil down to him believing their acting is bad enough to be easily replaced. Is super subjective calculation of their value that is also basically him arguing against his own interests, considering his job is also easily replace contracted talent. Yeah. No, exactly. Which is hilarious, because like I make this argument all the time and people always make jokes about it because they're like, Twitch streaming is not work. Yeah, you're right, it isn't, which is why we are contracted employees that are paid insanely high, okay? But our output is still, higher than what we're getting paid, obviously. Like, that's just how it works. Twitch makes more money off of us than we do off of, being on fucking Twitch. So, ultimately, though, it is replaceable. It is certainly replaceable labor. It is, which is part of the reason why Twitch knows that and will often, make moves like cutting pay, especially when there is no competition in the streamer platform industry, like on the platform side of the industry.
Labor done in the quickest time possible without caring about like actually doing the work the right way, which is like the core problem, like the core
We're not employees,
issue,
sorry, independent contractors.
which is what the whole thing was about. Like, you are right, you could find it's fucking 12 16-year-olds in the Darman cinematic universe to play these roles, and they do it for free. They do it for exposure, but that's not a good thing. That should never be the case. You should want to like pay the actors and the professionals the standard rate to do the work and do the work well. It's not an argument of can it be done cheaper. It's an argument of why can't we just do it the right way?
I agree, but if somebody agrees for a certain amount and they say, "Wow, I'm worth more money," well, I don't give a fuck. I don't want Leonardo DiCaprio a performance, okay? I don't want a better color performance from the guy in the video, David, whatever the fuck. I want Craigslist level acting for Craigslist level videos. And if they make a little more money, well, I took the risk initially, right? I'm the one who owns the business. I should own the profits.
There's no obligation for you to pay him more. But to at least hear them out as it's scaled up, like, hey, I'm putting in more.
Damn, dude. Homie is doing the business owner special right now. He said, I took the risk.
Work.
Bro, this could be a Ben Shapiro video.
Putting in more hours for the same pay as it was in the beginning. I would like to at least.
Like I said, the irony of this conversation is I don't think he underpays his editors. That's why it's like pretty funny that he's like taking the role of like the fucking rugged individualist business owner while he simultaneously doesn't even live by the values that he's supposedly espousing. That's what makes it funny overall.
He's talk about a pay raise, hearing them out, and then negotiating from there is how it should work. And it's not, which is a core issue here.
Is that how it works normally? Because I would have just blocked them. But it makes a lot of sense, though.
You sound like an absolute ruthless warlord out here. Good. My heart is breaking for your editors. You're gonna have one bad month, and they're not gonna be eating for fucking 2 weeks. Good God.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. I was joking about that, but I feel like, of course, when things are good, okay, and I'm happy with how things are going and how the creative, let's say, shift that I see, I don't mind giving a bonus to some of the editors, bro. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this. Yo, they those in chat, they got my videos. He doesn't even fucking talk about penance anymore. So I'm pretty sure that all my second, third, fourth, all the other channels, he's paying himself. Okay, dude. So I don't think I've paid him for the main channel because he's paying himself for the other channels. Okay, and you know what? And that's fair game. Okay, that's fair. I haven't paid him. I'm not kidding. I haven't paid him for the main channel in forever. Because he's paying himself with the other channel, right? So what if sometimes he does these new things like making new channels, doing other shit, and he creates value, right? And that's valuable. It's adaptive, right? They can do more, they can be smarter, and I'll give him a bonus or I'll give more, and that's fine, right? But the problem I have with this is that, unfortunately, let's say, right, $100 an hour, right, 10 hours a week, a scam. Right? Person would be making, let's say, no, $100. Okay, $100 an hour.
I don't understand.
Right? For these dudes, let's say, okay, but I can only give them 4 hours a week. Okay, so they end up paying $400 a week, which is in fact 1,600.
Wait, XQC editors make $400 a week? No shot. There's no shot. What? There's no way. There's no fucking way. That's a random number, I think, right? Yeah, I was gonna say there's 0% chance.
They live in LA, right? They can't afford rent. And then
yeah, you hear that? Burger motherfucker. Yeah, there you go, dude. There's motherfuckers out here making $400 a week, dog. Okay. You better fucking you better recognize your position in this goddamn industry. Yeah. Yeah, economies hit all of us hard, okay? You better fucking watch out, dude. Market adjustment.
They're like, yo, bro, we can't afford rent. Well,
400 no shot because it's too low. Yes, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, it's too low.
If they agreed to 4 hours,
fuck.
If they agreed to 100 an hour, 4 hours a week, then what can I do, right? They agreed to the terms and they agreed to the pay and the workload. They do that. They're paid. What's the problem? If you don't enjoy it anymore and don't want to do it anymore, we don't have to.
Well, even in your examples, like you're receptive. Well, except for the 2 times you threatened to block them, I guess you're receptive to.
Guys, but my point was no, like a lot of top level streamers. I mean, I can't speak for all of them, but at least the ones I do know are not paying industry rates. Like, don't be crazy. It's like, if you recall, Cutie Cinderella was upset at me at the time because like she was like, I don't have enough money to like compete with how much you're paying an editor that we were sharing at the time, Will. Like, you know, and it's just. XQC said his editors are balling out, so like I don't believe that. Yeah, no, I don't think. I think his editors are probably balling out for sure.
To hearing them, right? So if that guy came to you, he's like, hey, I was fine with this in the beginning, but you know now, like I really can't afford rent, and I am putting in a lot of.
He said he doesn't pay him editor. His editors pay themselves off his second and third channels. Low, probably a good amount of money. Yeah, they probably make a lot of money. XC explained that he pays editors around $30 an hour. This rate is very low. Industry standard will be closer. I fucking doubt that his editors get paid $30 an hour. You can put that on there. There's no shot. There's no fucking shot his editors. Second and third channel. Clips channel editor definitely needs a raise. What the fuck is doing? XG kisses Nixie. Kisses Nixie's hand. Dude, what the fuck? People are so ready to jump on him, act like his obvious example isn't an example. People can't understand the way he speaks. Yeah, but don't worry. He's overall, people are very charitable to him, so I don't think anyone will get mad at him.
Could I maybe talk to you about an increase in pay? That is not happening right now with the Dhar man actors. They can't.
Hasanabi Production runs his channel too. Yeah, it turns out Hasanabi Productions is also XQC's editor, apparently.
Get to that step.
Well, at that point, dude's making a lot of money. His time is worth a lot of money, and he probably doesn't want to fucking deal with that shit.
If pay is increasing with value provided by the workers through labor, why should owners of a business not have a higher pay since the financial investment clearly provides more value than the workers have yet provided? That's not how value works. There's no value without labor. If you have capital and it's just sitting there without labor, it's just nothing. It just depreciates. You have a depreciating asset. You get it? Oh shit, here we go. Not another fucking theory stream. I mean, that's not even, this is like very low level.
But I agree. I agree though. I didn't agree. That is at least try to talk to them. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know. Like, let's say you work at Amazon and it's good pay. I'm pretty sure Amazon's good pay, isn't it? It's like decent, right? How much is Amazon an hour? Yeah. 15 to 20 bucks an hour. That's pretty good.
Maybe this Moist critical video will pay for my lunch. I'm 14 years old.
It's not. $17.50.
I'm gonna throw you a little life raft here. I don't think Amazon is the best comparison for this situation. I'm just gonna be honest straight up. So let's dial it back more into like editing and stuff like that.
No, I know that's one of XC's editors. I know. It's art.
I think that's going to be a lot stronger of a like platform to tackle it on. You have to also keep in mind these people aren't just doing grunt work. They are the principal actors in his content. Without them, there is no content unless he finds other actors to replace them. But since he's using them, they are the reasons the videos exist. They're not playing some like behind the scenes role. They're a big part of it.
I'm actually quite surprised that Charlie does not immediately go to the replaceable labor. Like the value of labor is not by its output, should not be dictated by its output, but like how replaceable it is, because that it literally is fundamentally anti-capitalist. Like his argument is fundamentally anti-capitalist, and I'm unironically shocked that he doesn't even consider that. That is truly surprising, especially as a man from Florida in general, because that, like, what he's describing right now is a unique perspective. Straight up. Like, that's precisely why like XQC's take is normal, and I'm not even like shocked that he has it, because everyone usually has that take. He's teetering on the border of what some would call the top of the hour ad break, of course. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Or you can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. That is very good. 410 didn't even make sense. Oh, it didn't make sense because you weren't here for the DJ Academics conversation. I was making everyone thought I was going to say teetering on the edge of socialism, what some would call socialism.
So they should be able to at least
Moist critical, more like Maoist critical.
Communicate with the person when it's like, hey, I'm putting in all these hours, I'm putting all this work, the pay hasn't changed at all, I'm still on like that very baseline, very underpaid rate that we agreed to in the beginning because, we were both small together, but now we've both grown together. I'd like to at least examine this and see if, since I'm putting in all this extra work and, we're in this good of a spot, maybe we could talk about some kind of better pay system.
Fair enough. In my answer to that, show up and say, no.
So then it's kind of more of like a fundamental disagreement then, because I feel like the answer should be, sure, let's examine it. Let's talk about it together instead of just fire them on the spot because they asked.
Okay. I guess that'll be the only part that I don't agree with the whole thing. It's the fact that these guys have disagreements, and they won't be addressed. I think that is the only thing that because the rest of it, I have no data. I have no I have no, I guess not story. I guess timeline of things. I know nothing about any of this, and the video doesn't indicate me any of this either. It's like impossible to really understand the concern and take for face value, because I don't like believing in just what is said, right? Straight up. Like the guy says, yo dude, I'm not being paid, and the guy ends up being paid like $200 an hour, right? Like, I'm gonna feel like my take was wrong, and now I'm a dumbass. I have to, unfortunately, it's like guilty until proven innocent. Oh, I'll believe what he says, right? If I'm wrong about it, we'll have another take. Well, not really. I'd like to be given all the info that I need from the get-go, make a take, and my take is final.
To me, this sounds almost more like you're afraid of looking silly if it turns out new information comes to light.
Of course, because I will not be put in that position.
There's really nothing wrong of being in that position, though, as long as you're, like, willing to change. Like, that's a supernatural thing people go through. Like, for example, Helena Taylor.
Charlie. Nah, I disagree. Charlie, you disagree with yourself now. Okay? If you were half canceled overnight, the dumbest shit, the damage caused by what was said, you would never be able to recover past the point where you were. It would take you way more time, way more effort, way more strength and willingness to power through. You know for a fact, this is some shit about you, right? Okay, people say question mark. Okay, what about Johnny Depp then? Do you guys feel like his reputation went back to normal or better with his industry?
By the way, I can't, dude, the Johnny Depp thing is so funny because, like, is he gonna get fucking roles? Because he looks, don't eat my ass, but he looks kind of gross, bro. Every time I see him, my man looking hurt. I don't know what kind of fucking deal he made with the devil to, like, actually win a defamation suit in the United States of America, because you had to have greased the wheels of, like, Satan himself, because it is not easy to do. Okay, this is a very difficult thing to achieve in the United States of America, and now it feels like he's just. It feels like my man. It feels like my man actually is Jack Sparrow, and he just drowned. He looks like Johnny Depp after he became a drowning victim. You know what I mean? So I don't know what kind of fucking great. I don't know what kind of like roles he's gonna get. I don't know what's happening in his life, but I feel like his career, I don't know if it'll recover, and it has nothing to do with the defamation.
Street and his bosses and with people.
That's a huge leap going from like, hey, these workers, I hope they can talk to their boss about a higher pay for all the work they've done when they're still not getting good pay, all the way to like a Johnny Depp situation. Like that's a total
Johnny Depp is looking real. What are you talking? Oh, dude, this is my favorite type of person who's like followed the suit closely and like, developed like a parasocial relationship with Johnny Depp and now acts like Johnny Depp is like living his best life. It's like it's low key my like secret consumption. Whenever I see people like post about Johnny Depp, I just, I laugh by myself a little bit where they're just like, they like developed a parasocial relationship with Johnny Depp, and now they're like, "Oh, look at how happy he looks," and they'll post a picture of him, and he just looks hurt. Okay, he just looks so hurt. Like, I mean, do you keep tabs on Johnny? No, but I do keep tabs on like Johnny fans. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, no, this is 2018, man. You're wrong. This is not what. No, that's not what we're talking about. No. You haven't seen the latest Johnny Depp photos then. No. Like, he looked pretty good at the court case, right? And everyone was like, oh my God, he's so handsome. He's so handsome. And like every time I see photos of him in public, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Twink death, as they call it. Yeah, it's always like this. It's a picture, that link. Stop. My captain looks so damn good. Anyway, it's just like unrelated. I don't know what the fuck happened. I actually don't know what the fuck happened. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. You didn't have to do it to him. I saw this. This is what I was talking about, dude. This is what I was talking about, dude. Oh, no. They said, my white man is safe. Anyway. Yeah, I know. He's 60.
Stream. Like, what you're doing right now is opining on a situation, not like actively participating. You're not the one that's like slapping the Dhar actors while they're doing their protest or anything. Like, the fear of being proven wrong with later information seems to be like clouding the way you're approaching the problem itself, which is These people are doing more work now than they previously did and still getting suboptimal pay because they couldn't afford to pay them that much at the time. Thus, it didn't matter how much more work they put in, they're still getting the same pay, and anytime they bring it up, they get fired, which is...
It's funny because of how you would react if someone went on like that about you, bitch. People go on like that about me all the time. It's also funnier to make fun of the people that are like acting like that's not the case. And people do that to me, to my face regularly, okay? Like straight up. And you react like this, Pepela. I mean, that's it. You just, for no reason, came across like a weird depth stand.
It's just a straight up problem. And that's why it's become an issue. It's why none of
my
them
mods are making fun of me right now, saying that's you.
Because they've all been fired for bringing it up.
That's as far as this guy will say it. But has there been like data of that people say? Because that's a pretty big claim to say.
It's not one guy. It's every actor. So every principal actor from most of Darman's videos have been in these protests and have come out and said the same thing, corroborating all of it.
No way.
The only thing they haven't released is the salaries, because again, that's not information we even really need to know. The problem is they can't talk to him. So they're doing a protest because they want to be able to talk to him to negotiate that number. That's the whole purpose of it. They're mentioning the pay because, well, we want to talk to him about pay and he won't let us. So it becomes a talking point, but the actual figure isn't what they're rioting about. It's wanting that communication to talk about it instead of just being fired for trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see how that's a problem. So like I said, I think that's a problem. I feel like the conclusion people make from that problem, right? And going public about it just can sometimes cause a bit of damage, and I wouldn't want to be put in that position. That's all. But I agree that the wrong here is not talking, right? But I think that they're being assumed or talked about, and without being proven, I think kind of suck. I think they just suck. He's saying, yo, guys, we're not paid enough. We're not this or that, right? I think it'd be pretty easy to show, right? They're gonna go public about how much it is, how much we're talking, industry standard, give it a context. Taking it for the story that it is, when you have all the ammo, it's like in an argument like this, it's like loading in your mag, right? That could have bullets.
Hey, Darmon fam. For background, we did arrange an in-person hour-long meeting with active representatives of two of our most senior leaders, including our head of production, in hopes of understanding concerns prior to any protest. During that meeting, the active representatives refused to communicate any concerns and instead walked out. More info in our stories. Darmon says he pays actors up to $33.44 per hour for speaking roles. In regards to actor compensation, we believe we pay our actors competitively compared to our peers. Our rates for actors vary. Extras receive $18 an hour, and speaking role actors receive $33 to $44 an hour. We are proud to have given thousands of actors job opportunities in the last year alone, paid millions of dollars in actors' compensation. The actors said they wanted Darmon, not a representative, though. Yeah, they did say that. They said that they just relegated us to HR. Actors by nature work for many different production companies. We offer project-based opportunities that vary from a few hours long to a few days. We do not offer full-time positions. We try to spread around opportunities and show a wide range of faces. Yeah, I think that's a cop out to say like that's not the reason. And also it's not even true. Apparently a lot of the actors are. So we have come to the conclusion that XQC is a very large fan of Darmon. No, because if XQC was a very large fan of Darmon, he would have taken valuable lessons from Darmon, such as, you know, boss treats their employees horribly. What happens next will shock you. Or the series of black woman gets yelled at her job. What happens next will shock you. Like, these are all, you know, pro-labor, pro-workers' rights videos that XQC would have learned lessons from, valuable lessons from. All the details, including pay rate and length of the production, are specified in the offer letter, and the actor has the freedom to accept or decline the project. If accepted, actors are always paid shortly after production wraps, typically within 72 hours. Occasionally, we've stopped working with actors. This is typically due to conduct complaints from fellow actors, complaints from minor actors' parents, complaints from crew members, or an actor displaying unprofessionalism on and off set. Yeah, excuse a fake Dharma fan. We take complaints seriously and try to ensure every person has the best experience possible in working with us. The head of production is a 25-year-old kid with no experience. That's who they walked out on. They don't also pay They don't pay overtime for actors and pay them under the table on PayPal. Darman fires actors, asks for a pay raise. Lives to regret it. Darman says the protesting yesterday interfered with 2 of their productions. Yesterday, a group of protesters interfered with 2 of our productions. We want to apologize to the crew members and actors affected by these protesters. We want to thank you all for your support and understanding. More information can be found in our stories. Hey, Darman fans. Myth number 1. Darman did not show up to a meeting he promised he would attend. Bro, his response is like also in the form of a Darman video. What? How is that wrong, though? This dude's probably busy with other shit, so he had his other employees talk to them. Bro, that's... Come on, dude. That's like a fucking workplace dispute. Of course, if you don't handle it, especially at a company that's not that large, a workplace dispute, you're gonna get fucking your ass eaten. His brain only works in this format. Yeah. The protesters are his actors.
And having no bullets in the mag, right? You have all the ammo you need, like the hours that were required for you, the salary you were given, and then the industry standard. Then you fire that, you win, right? Then your point comes across, and everybody understands you. If you say, yo guys, I'm not paid enough, lol, I can't pay rent, lol. If you talk, you're fired, lol. What? I didn't see any proof of that at all, anywhere. So how can I make a good take about this?
Well, because that's not the point of the thing. Again, them not being able to... It's not like they're surprised. You're right. They're contractors. They knew what they were getting paid getting into it. They want, since this is scaled up so much, to talk about altering that pay. Just like you've mentioned the word adaptive. Like, you've used the word adaptive a lot when talking about your editors. They would like to adapt their pay to the more work they put in, and they're not able to, which is why they're doing this. It's not... they are not caught off guard. They are not surprised by what they're getting paid. They did agree to it, but they would like to talk about changing it around a bit more to reflect.
Oh my God, this chat is insane, dude. Fucking juicers are unhinged, bro. He said adapt and chat's throwing up papelas. Jesus Christ, bro.
The scale and reflect how much they've put in. Like, I think there's a big disconnect on the core problem that you're overlooking here. It's not so much, I have to take their word that they can't afford rent and they're eating fucking cat food. It's, okay, they'd like to change their pay and they're getting fired for even mentioning it. That's the issue. It's not, like, you don't need... If you don't believe that they're not getting paid enough, that's fine. Because that's not the issue. It's, they can't even talk about it without getting fired.
Okay, fair enough. I feel, okay, I hate to say it, I feel like the result of the product is irrelevant if the quality expected from the workers is the same as the quality that was expected initially. Okay? If I want you, okay, to spit my...
Wait, he literally doesn't abide by this. If his pay for his editors have scaled as his content has grown, he literally doesn't abide by this principle. It's not like his editors are doing anything better. What? He doesn't pay his editors? He does.
My face for $100 an hour right now, right? You do that, you spin off it, bang, 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 bang. But then it becomes an art form, and now I'm making $1 billion a year from the pictures of my face with spit on it, should you be paid more? I disagree 100%.
You are under no obligation to pay me more for spitting in your face. What a wild example. You're under no obligation to pay me more for spitting in your face or tongue punching you or whatever. But if I approached you like, hey, this is scaled up a lot, I'm spitting in your face a lot, can we at least talk about maybe getting me on some kind of different deal? I would expect you to not spit in my face and kick me out of the fucking door for even asking. And then you replace me with someone else whose spit isn't nearly as viscous.
I think this is such an interesting, oh my God, what an interesting fucking debate. I really did not think Moist Critical would be arguing like this. Because like what XQC is saying is just capitalism brain, okay? What he's saying, actually, when you have this conversation, of course comes across as immoral. To this community, to members of this community, of course it comes across as immoral because you're leftist, right? But the reality of the situation is like what XQC is implying or what XQC is mentioning here is the norm. You pay your workers what you can get away with paying them, right? And it doesn't matter how much more profit you're generating off of them, as long as their work stays the same, as long as their work doesn't scale up, then you don't pay them more. Now, I'll take it one step further. As a matter of fact, she also mentioned this part of it, where if they are also replaceable, then you can also justify paying them even less, right? And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. That is literally how this works, which is why, like, I guess getting a good boss and being lucky in that regard is like, I guess, having a boss like Moist Critical, where you understand that, but you still scale your employees' pay off of the output or off of like, your profits, regardless of whether or not their workflow is higher or lower. You know? But what's interesting about it is that he's arguing on the other side of it. He's arguing on the other side of this conversation, but he doesn't even personally do that in his real life. Like,
or something, right?
Yeah.
He's just being like a debate lord contrarian. And in Moist's situation, he could have just like very easily been like, but you just said you don't do that.
That's how it should work.
I will agree with half of the video then, because I have enough information to know that there's an ongoing problem and a unwillingness to fix a problem, but I cannot agree.
By the way, I'll take it even one step further. You know, in XQC's case, he's the primary worker. So he especially doesn't even have to do that with his own editors, because that's the truth. In XQC's situation, we're Twitch streamers, right? Like, we are literally, we are making most of the content. It's our face, it's our likeness, it's the content that we're like, it's the content that we're creating. And then the editors are basically modifying it, okay? They're basically modifying it and generating additional value off of that, right? And so in his situation, he even has more of a reason not to pay his editors well in comparison to Darmon's situation, where like there is no Darmon product without all of the other actors. Does that make sense? And of course they're adding value. Editors are always adding value. That's why you pay the editors, right? But if you make a comparison between XQC and Darmon, like, XQC can get away with, constantly churning out. Hasan's editor sweating. Yeah, okay, don't be fucking ridiculous. I love my editors. In XQC's case, he could get away with constantly fucking churning out new editors nonstop. You know what I mean? Like he could just have like people just cut the content over and over again. Non-fucking stop. Same as any other Twitch streamer, without the product suffering all that much, which that's not even true, actually. I disagree with that, but you get what I'm saying. Whereas Darman cannot, because Darman cannot make any product on his own, just by his own. Because Darman is not a Twitch streamer. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the majority of the content and the majority of the production is handled by XQC when he's a Twitch streamer. The majority of the content and the production is not single-handedly handled by Darman. Maybe this would make sense to XQC if you asked him to do the same work for Twitch he currently does, but he only gets $33 an hour for being the on-screen talent, while Twitch takes the rest. He'd recognize the value they bring. Yeah, but he would also say, like, I am a singular force generating that value, whereas these actors are, you know, one part of the puzzle or something, probably. Does that make sense?
With the actual specifics and the semantics about what the problem is. And I think it's a lot of conclusions without giving a lot of things to people. It's a lot of going public with not enough.
Oh my God, X kind of asked this question to Alex Press, but in reverse.
That really quickly.
Well, a small question first.
What?
Small question.
Go ahead.
Let's say some company or some factory or whatever are doing really good, and everybody's working well. They're producing a lot of product, and the margins are crazy. They're making a lot of profit and a lot of surplus. Let's say they were to give workers more money or a better salary.
Isn't that fucking dude? Oh God. Sometimes I think I don't provide any unique value to any space as a Twitch streamer, and then I remember I've done shit like this, where there is no planet where you have labor writer Alex Press, who was at the time I think writing for the New York Times on the IATSE deal that was ongoing, meet up with XQC to talk about fucking like labor rights.
Right? When things go bad, can they take it away or reduce it because then now it's failing, or do they have to stay there?
Well, I mean, there's no set answer to that, right? So what's useful about a union is that you have it in writing, right? So at least for the course of your contract, you have a standard. Obviously, if you're just a random worker and your boss gives you a raise, he can always take it away. A contract gives you, as a collective unit, a union, more of a say. But that said, he can take it away. It's not illegal. It's up to the workers to say whether or not they're going to let that happen, right? I mean, this is what's happening at John Deere, except that they're still making huge profits and they're trying to take away pensions from the workers. So of course it's illegal for a boss to take away benefits, but is it right? And are workers going to let it happen is the question of labor politics often at this point in time.
Yeah, the union.
It's elected representative, not union boss. Yeah, this is when Alex scolded me.
Actual raw material to make a conclusion from them. That's all.
Endless complaining with no results. God, I love leftist politics. It's funny that you're saying that, because like that was where there was material results in the aftermath of that ongoing conversation with IATSE. So, it's not
so you mean by
like that.
I think I understand. I think you just hung on not knowing how much they're getting paid.
Yeah, because when you go
I gotta
public,
pee, I'll be back.
Charlie, when you go public about something, okay, you are going to war, okay? Because the second you make something public, you are causing damage every minute, every hour, something is public. And if you are going to go public and you are in that war, you best fucking believe that you come in armed with your fucking helmet on and your gun fucking loaded, okay? That's just how it works. Unless you haven't been around the internet for a decade, when you go on the internet with a truth, you better be fucking loaded the fuck up, because you're causing damage just based on the existence of that war, right? And if you don't have enough, and you have too little, and then you have nothing, right? It's damage caused for no reason that could have been avoided, and it's that you're causing irreparable damage, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And when I see this, what I see is a big gun, right? And not a lot of ammo loaded, and it makes you feel like, fuck, man, I want to be behind these guys, and fucking, yeah, man, I'm gonna use my platform and say, yeah, man, fuck Darman, right? But I don't have enough to do so, and if I did, I would fuck on Darman 50 times as hard. I'd be, fuck this guy, right? I'd block his videos. I would be super, but now I can't, because if I take their word for it in the way that it's presented to me, well, I have a high chance of looking like a fool. and causing even more damage for no reason.
So let's say tomorrow Darman's like, hey Darman fam, so you saw those.
Bro, this motherfucker is about to advocate for the new Supreme Court decision that might be coming down the pipe where striking workers have to compensate their bosses for loss of revenue, which is insane. He's like one step removed from being like, yeah, if they actually disrupt production, like they should pay for it. Which is a very real Supreme Court decision that is going to be deliberated on.
Slimy protesters, well, they didn't listen to my lessons. What happens in the dark does come to the light. Here's their salary, and here's the average rent for their house or their apartments. And it turns out their salary wasn't the worst thing in the world. Do you all of a sudden blame the workers for coming forward, even though the problem itself is still there, where he fired them for talking about it? Is the problem this not knowing their salary?
Yeah, yeah, almost 100%. Yeah, I would get mad. I think that the behavior in public, they know what they're doing, right? And in this instance, they know what they're doing, and I think it's being a little deceptive, if that were to come true.
So
I think it's a deceptive practice. Yeah, I think it is.
So for me, even if that came forward and it's like the pay's not the worst thing in the world, the core problem is he won't talk to them about adjusting it regardless. And the culture of firing them for talking about it is the core issue, which is what the whole thing is about.
Well, I didn't see enough proof of that. I didn't see anything at all.
Well, all their signs say the same thing. Enough, Darman, and talk to us, Darman. Like the signs are encouraging.
Were they fired?
Oh yeah. So the actors have been let go. I don't know about all of them, but
Can we see that?
Yeah, there's tons of Darman protests. So like one of the girls, I can't remember her name, but she was talking about how when they started filming in the garage, she was there from the beginning. The pay didn't change. As people talked to him about it or tried to talk to him about it, they would get ghosted or they would just get quietly let go. And that was the culture around the office where talking is a problem if you try and address these issues.
I don't think XQ's making Moist look like a leftist. I think Moist Critical genuinely has like some leftist values. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but he does. Like, what he is, you don't arrive at these positions. Charlie shoots this down for blindly siding with owners and blindly distrusting workers for some reason. Yeah, like, I wouldn't say he's like fucking socialist or anything, but his attitude towards workers' compensation legitimately is anti-capitalist. Like, most people are capitalist, obviously, we know that, where you side with the bosses immediately, like you rush to side with the bosses because you see yourself in the shoes of the boss. And basically what he's doing is like immediately siding with the workers in that circumstance, which is surprising.
So
that's all there.
Like an email like that? Would they let it go? Well, I'm just saying, I didn't see anything. It's so hard.
Like you mean like actual receipts of, hey, this is Darman, you're fired kind of thing?
Or like, I don't know. In this tweet, it says that they were talked about opportunities and they would either accept or refuse, right? Mm-hmm. So in this instance, I guess they weren't.
But I also don't think that XQC is like fucking arguing in good faith. I think he's just like swinging for the fences as he like tries to troll and win the conversation from his perspective. You know what I mean?
Like more offers to present new projects.
Like he just wants to be the debate guy in the situation. He's just arguing for
right.
content.
That's usually how it works because they're not employees. So right. that's how you let them go. Since they were never brought on as like salaried positions, that's how that works. There wouldn't be like Darman kicking in the door being like, "You're out, bub, give me your badge and your gun." That's how that process would work from talking about it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm still not convinced about how this is being done. Or I'm not convinced of like the substance of what is being done, and I certainly don't agree with the model model here, the way this guy's coming on and saying that, right? I wish was a little bit more clear and had more, because when, like I said, when you go public, it has to be heavy.
That's,
You know?
I think that's a fine critique to say, like, you wish there was more to rally behind. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But to take such a hardline stance of, I will not trust these guys for X, Y, and Z is a bit heavy-handed. I think there is still plenty that they have provided to lend credibility to it, considering all of the principal actors.
Look at the fucking wheels turning in his brain, dude. You can literally see the cogs turning as he's like trying to come up with like a funny little fucking clap back.
Actors that I know from the DMCU have come forward corroborating each other's stories, as well as providing everything you need to prove that Darman will not communicate directly with them. I feel like the core issues have been proven here. The salary, I understand not releasing it. I'm sure there's even probably some kind of reason they couldn't, because usually salaries are more of a hush-hush thing, especially when it comes to like acting. That kind of shit's usually kept under wraps. So to me, that was never even the biggest part. It's alarming to hear that, and I have no doubt for like a YouTube production, there's definitely exploitation of actors. So that sucks. But the big thing they were rallying is, we want to talk about it to help improve it for us, because we've been here for so long and we loved what we're doing with him. And so we just wanted to talk and didn't get a chance to. We just kept getting let go for it. Like, I feel like everything from the core issue is there. It's just you would have preferred had they also dropped the salary.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's something that is part of your core argument. It's a pillar, right? If you aren't willing to disclose what the pillar is or in how strong it is, then I don't know about if I feel confident about the integrity of the foundation itself. That's every argument. If you're making a lot of points, right? Then I'm a very visual guy, okay? I'm a very, very, very visual guy, okay? So I'll have like a foundation would be like a platform, right? Like that's your main argument, boom, right? And the pillars of your platform is going to be your pillars, right? So let's say you have like, I don't know, like 5 of them, right? So you have like 5 pillars, okay? And then if let's say 2 of them are kind of like shaky, right? And are like, well, they're like a bit unproven, just kind of sort of like, you know, then I think if I want to like back them up or whatever, on the basis of the argument, well, I still think that it's shaky because I want to be on their side. A lot of these things, like people, I wish people understood it. Like, I want to be on their side, right? Then we can shit on somebody. I love shit on people. I would love nothing else to be able to shit on Darman, okay? But I just felt like in this video, I wasn't given enough to shit on Darman.
That's fine. At the end of the day, they are still allegations, 100%. And I think that's important to remember. But there is still enough there for the core of like why they're doing it, and all of them are doing it. Like, I feel like that's still a strong pillar. The pillar you're referring to is one about more so the salary and like the dropping of receipts for the salary.
Yeah.
But even still, I don't even if the salary comes out right now and it's like fucking great, honestly, it wouldn't change the issue of him letting people go for trying to talk to them, or just not communicating, constantly pushing meetings and dodging,
Right.
which is what the protest is focused on, just trying to talk to him.
Yeah, that is shit. I mean, does he not even show up to his own studio or something like that, or what?
I have no idea. He self-inserts himself into videos. Chat saying the salary's out on TikTok, but I don't know if I'm being trolled.
It's on Twitter. Extras are paying $18 an hour. Speaking roles for actors was $33 to $44 an hour. And they've given $1,000 of opportunity jobs and millions of dollars, is that it? They vary from hours long to a few days, but there are no full-time positions, which I think is standard. I'll link you the tweet if you want.
No, I got it pulled up. I'm reading it. What was it? 33 to 40 an hour for speaking roles?
33 to 44, yeah.
I don't know what the industry standard is. I was in the Hunger Games and I got paid $1,000 for 2 days of work, so that seems a little odd, but I don't know what the rate is there.
Okay, brother, you're comparing a Hollywood top fucking IP franchise.
That's why I said I don't know what the norm is there.
Okay. Because when I look at Darman, I see is good makeup artists, right? And Craigslist level acting.
Right. Like that is Darman's brand.
Yeah. Still though, I mean, I could probably find some of these folks on Craigslist. If you would make a challenge for me, make a Darman video, right?
You would go to Craigslist 100%.
And if I got like 10 folks, right? I paid them all half of what Darman does. I'd probably end up with a similar or better product.
So then, on that token, why don't you hire an editor that's cheaper than the one you currently have? You can find one that do it for free, I bet. Why don't you?
Oh, because it's a working model, right? It's like the best combo ever could have in a job. Two things. It's a proven model combined with an adaptive pay, right? So not only do they know they're doing it, they've shown that they know how to adapt, and on top of that, they know that the pay will come in for the work that they.
Yeah, the entire argument, literally, this is a perfect. Okay, this entire argument is the perfect two sides of this coin of how you analyze value in labor. One side looks at it from a more humanitarian perspective, I guess, a more empathetic perspective, one that it revolves around recognizing that there is no value without labor, and therefore labor should be compensated on what it produces, versus the other side is saying, well, I have a more qualitative approach, and I think that this is like dog shit. This is dog shit acting. Yeah, ideologically, this is literally neoliberalism versus social democracy. Pretty much, yes. Well, not even. Yeah, I guess you're right. Social democracy. Yeah. One side is valuing people and saying that, like, without them, there is no labor. It doesn't matter how replaceable they are. Ultimately, like, they are giving you a product. They're adding value and making you make money. The other side is basically saying, no, it's disposable. It's replaceable. This is a replaceable commodity, and I don't care. As long as it's replaceable, then I will get away. I will pay as low as I can get away with paying. But he already defeated himself explaining how he values editors and how he pays them. Exactly. So he's just arguing for the sake of arguing.
They put in, and more if they do more. That's how you create extreme value. That's how you make a lot of fucking money for these people.
So what you've just said is an argument in, like, my camp of, like, you should do these things because of what you just said.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's what you should.
You're under no obligation to, but you should, right?
I've always said this. No, I agree with you. Yeah, this is what you should do. But if they don't, I don't think they should be canceled for.
Well, that word cancel has truly lost all. It's become like the man-spreading of 2023. He's not being.
Okay, he's going crazy now. He's going bananas mode. Oh, he's alting. What? Normie Jesus saying canceled is overused? This is crazy. This is insane. I've never seen anything like it. This man is just batting. He's knocking him out of the fucking park. What the fuck is happening, dude? Okay, you gotta chill out, dude. Dial it back. Just say, like, cancel culture is very real and it sucks or something, please. He's gonna steal all my fucking audience, dude. I don't like this.
Canceled. The protest is to talk to the guy. It's not burn Darman Studios down. They want to talk to him about exactly what you just laid out for your editors for them, or at least negotiating that.
Okay, Charlie.
I don't like this. I'm starting to feel threatened. Okay, I just don't appreciate what he's doing.
Then your video was named "Darman is in huge trouble." Okay, Charlie. What is? Just stop it. What is that? What is the trouble he's in then? What is that trouble?
That the actors are upset, which makes everyone upset. talk to your actors. That's trouble.
Okay,
it's not Darman is done. It's not Darman was found in a ditch with his head missing.
Good.
It's Darman has a problem. There is trouble at Darman Studios. There is. That's not a cancel. In what way?
You fell out, bro. I only watch Charlie now. At least he acknowledges that buying Hogwarts Legacy is a mortal sin worthy of death. Yeah, meanwhile, he's playing it. And no one would ever get mad at him for it. Oh, God. The one thing I always will be jealous of with like Charlie, XQC, and a lot of my peers with also sizable audiences is the endless charitability the internet has for them, and how it is precisely the exact opposite for me. Like, because for me, most of my commentary revolves around like people, hearing me out. And I can't really do that when it's cut short by not only right-wing saboteurs who fucking claim that I'm a bad person, but also people who ostensibly are on the left, who claim to be leftists. It is truly a thing that I wish I could have. That is the one thing. If I had a magic wand to fix one thing, it would be just like, I wish I could have people be charitable. Brother, give it a rest, please. Wait, what do you mean? On what?
About the semantics for no reason.
Because they don't pretend to be leftists? Yeah, exactly. You're right. That's what it is. That's my fault. People shit on them. They just don't care as much as you. You are fucking bananas mode if you think that people shit on Charlie or XQC for to the same degree. You're literally like, you're on full tilt bananas mode. There is not another single fucking content creator. What? There are very few content creators who get shit on to the same degree that I do. Literally look to any of my quote retweets for an immediate answer to how unhinged they are.
Reason now.
If I had titled this anything, Darman drama, Darman actors mad, you could make the same argument.
Like a perfect example of is if I said half of the things that XQC said, I would not be getting. I would be getting fucking mercilessly taken down. People would come to my house to kill me.
The word cancel has lost all meaning. It is calling out a problem, which there is a problem.
Damn. Okay, I just feel like this people in this trade will know that being in trouble means that you're gonna have repercussions, which is usually loss of job, loss of income, loss of power, loss of influence, loss of thing. It's some sort of a loss, right? In my opinion, that's what it kind of looks like. It's why I said in this trade, when you say somebody is in trouble, what is the conclusion of that? It's losing something, right? And that's what people refer as cancellation.
That's a super concerningly paranoid look at the word trouble. That is not what I gather from the word if I read a tweet longer right now like XQC's in trouble, my first thought would be like, holy shit, he just lost in court. XQC he fell off his scooter. XQC he paid for too many Pokemon cards. I don't immediately go to, holy shit, XQC's career is in the shitter at all.
Really?
Trouble, I feel like, is the lightest. Trouble is a word they use in middle school for children. Like, that is not a hard word. Like, that is not big at all.
Bro,
like, I feel like that's the lightest thing.
Really, it's a different perspective then. Because if I woke up and I saw the internet about me and said, XQC is in huge trouble, I would think that I was sleepwalking and I was running with my dick out in public and I was waving around, which is a big deal. And people would get mad about that and it would probably cancel me. That's what trouble is.
My God, we not to be parasocial, we got to get to the bottom of these perceptions. My God, that is what an awful way to live. So I can't argue how you feel. I'm not here to argue your feelings. I'm not your psychiatrist here, but that is absolutely not what I think.
Okay, this is officially like completely unhinged. Is there more like labor related stuff here, or is it just like it's gotten off the fucking rails at this point? They're like arguing about like the validity of clickbait and what kind of damage clickbait titles would have. on a person. Like, I don't fucking know how to even deal with that.
Or even cross my mind with the word trouble as a problem. It is a problem. It has been called out. Thus, I talked about the trouble. At no point was there anything like Dhar Man has to lose everything. It's Dhar Man has to talk to these people who feel they have been wronged due to their pay and due to everything else they've been talking about. That is the trouble. It's one with a very easily solvable solution. It's talking to them.
Okay. You know what? Fair enough. Okay. See, even in tweet they say recently there's been a lot of misinformation about going around. We clarified a few things. In my philosophy, okay, I don't give a fuck if people try to get a case with this take. This is my fucking take, okay? This is not a character anymore. I'm not fucking playing around. This is my real take as a person, okay? If somebody that I work with makes deliberate misinformation, at that point, even though I was gonna give them a raise and a bonus and I was gonna work with them, I don't give a fuck anymore. They are fired. I think doing malicious misinformation makes you a fucking liability, and I will never work with you again. Because as the one who buys the ship,
the problem is like XQC has not even once considered that like maybe the guys are being serious and like being honest. You know what I mean? Like he's approaching it from the perspective of like, oh, the guys are lying about needing a raise,
builds the ship,
or not being able to talk to Dhar Mann.
Fears the ship, right? You took the risk the whole way through. When somebody is willing to take a risk for the whole thing, right? They're what we call a fucking liability, and I will never let that happen ever again. That's usually how it goes. So I would be more mauled about the fucking people being a scumlord and trying to snake go to the public like that. I hate that shit. And people, even in private, that I've spoken to in the past, that does some sly fly shit, I've never just on stream, right? I never talked to them ever again. And when it was time to get invited to something to the fuck, I didn't reply. Why? Because fuck people like that. I hate that. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with people.
You and every other human being on the planet. No one likes that. Like everyone knows that. But you are taking, just in the way you were against taking their word for it, you're taking Dhar Mann's word of misinformation and running with it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. You're not wrong. You got me there. Yeah, I agree because I don't agree with the methods.
Right, and that is fine. Like if there is misinformation, you were absolutely right to be like, I'm washing my hands with him. This guy, he's bad news. I tell you, Bubba Long Johnson's the worst man in the world for his malicious misinformation campaign. 100%. I think everyone in the
Yeah, I have a feeling he thinks that actors want to torch Dhar Mann's business forever when they just want to get paid better and continue working. Yeah, at no point did the actors even fucking act like they did not want to keep working. Like they literally were just like, can we keep working? Actually, we want to keep working, please. Bubba Long Johnson? No, XQC's best name he's ever come up with is Barbie McDonald. There's never been a better name than Barbie McDonald when he was coming up with, remember the doxing conversation we had?
The world would agree with that. But as of the moment, the core issue is he wouldn't talk to them or the meetings.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't read that. What's that say?
It says myth number 1, and then it gets
No, the arrow. I can't. Actually, I'll just pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up. Yeah, of course, I don't want you to be here with no ammo, bruh.
Is it on his Instagram or his Twitter?
I just look at you.
They also only went to public when the
thing?
demands weren't met. They had to shine a light on it and hope so they can make some progress
the
with
whole thing.
negotiations. Yeah, which is valid.
Thanks.
And the manager says, "Stop."
No, they did everything by the book. Like, I think if you have a long-standing business relationship with your business owner, like especially if you fucking go to them first, like you've done everything by the book. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Talking about this right now, I'm just kidding. He says, yo, Dark and Darker. No. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Chat, everybody that I work with okay, is they're all on adaptive pay, all of them, even manager, motherfuckers, the whole everybody's on adaptive pay. If I do dog shit, they get dog shit supreme. It's just how it is.
Where's the next one? Oh, that was the last one there.
I'm just the head of HR. I was forwarded this email. I'd love to chat you. Ideas and make things better. I mean,
in the response from active representatives, it was stated we would appreciate Dhar and Ruben's attendance. It was never stated that it was required, nor does Dhar typically attend these types of meetings. So Ruben, the head of our production, and Janessa, the head of human resources. Yeah. No, they said we would appreciate it. What do you mean? Wait, does he think that these receipts actually favor Darman? Not XQC at this point. I'm talking about like Darman posted this thinking that this makes him look good.
I'm gonna go against Darman, and say that yeah, this is gonna cook, because it's not even a myth, okay? Their HR said that she would love to talk to them, but not Darman himself, which doesn't really do anybody any good.
Yeah, well, that's just corroborating once again that Darman was not the one to try and like he wasn't actually talking to them. But I haven't finished yet, so maybe he does by the end.
Oh, the person that I banned. Oh shit! You can one of the mods unban the last person I banned. I think that chatter was referencing the Barbie McDonald doxing where X made up an address. Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were like being fucking weird. Here, unbanned. What street did y'all live? I know one of y'all remember. I was like, what the fuck? Going stupid, going crazy. I'm jizzing in my jorts. Y'all wait. Like, I just looked at a bunch of other stuff and I just saw, you know, it was odd. Odd posting. Anyway.
This is fair enough.
Have you got to the end of that first batch? Because he's literally just proving everything they said. So at the end of it, he wasn't the one that was there. It is again mentioning the two people, which Colin mentions in his video, but they had reiterated many times they want Darman there to discuss it because he signs their contracts, which is a very reasonable ask, I think, since he is the one that dictates it. He didn't go. He instead just kept passing it off to HR and the head of production and didn't want to go. And then at the end said, unfortunately, another meeting at this time won't be possible. Thanks and have a great weekend. Is this, I'm assuming this is Darman Studios' response, not theirs, but let's check.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. I didn't even read through the receipts, but it just kind of feels like he just confirmed the accusations that were being made. Why'd you do that? Like, that's kind of odd. You just kind of went and just said, you know, I did all the things that they said I was doing here. But, like, obviously they're wrong.
And I think I agree with this. I think this is actually true. That they get their 1099s from PayPal themselves. I mean, I'm pretty sure that even fucking PayPal give me fucking the fucking 1099s, whatever the fuck. I'm not getting cooked. Nobody's getting cooked. That's not the point of the discussion.
This is just a reasonable discussion between adults, is what's happening here.
And it seems like there's a difference in life perspective and other perspectives, which is fine. I have disagreements. Okay.
What I don't doubt Daniel's a saint, but what does he have to do with any of this?
Who's Daniel?
Oh, have you not got to their anonymous feedback box?
The culture about getting fired for talking about things is 1,000% true. I was let go because I was starting to organize crew side. I have receipts. They fire you and don't tell you why.
Well, I mean, they have
Yeah.
1,300. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't. Of course, I assumed, which I should be.
I don't know why. All this is like HR mumbo jumbo. Come on, skip this.
Doing
This
it.
stuff is boring.
I don't
Who
think they would
cares?
deceptively get one.
It's literally all just to defend the company. Like that's it. You make HR not to like improve the quality of life of workers. You do it to cover your ass.
Out of, and they're all dog shit, or a majority of
Well, it's just this is completely irrelevant to everything, is what I'm saying. This is very much like, hey, we actually take all feedback seriously, and instead just
in the run, you will never see your boss. You'll never see Bezos ever, right? Well, who would they talk to? Is HR a good way to downscale it?
Well, they're not
Or,
employees. They shouldn't be talking to HR anyway. They're fucking contractors. Like, there's no reason HR would be the one to intercept contractors. HR is for fucking, like, employee workplace behavior, really. So, like, that's already... Like, HR can be there. That's fine. That makes sense. But it shouldn't be, like, your principal communication when the person that hired you, like, the person that is signing those contracts, isn't showing up. That's why they're asking for that.
Dude, this guy's no idea how it works. It's becoming cringe. Me? Because if you have a problem with your pay at your job, I don't really know who you talk to. I mean...
Again, you're comparing very different jobs. You're comparing working at Amazon to being the lead actor in the productions, of which Dhar himself does self-inserts where he is in the production as well. And early on, he was in a lot of them. Like, these actors have built a relationship directly with Dhar, and now all of a sudden he will not talk to them. It's very different. It's not like you're a random employee at Amazon, you know, faceless nobody to Jeff Bezos trying to communicate with him. Like, you have better luck writing his name on a rock and throwing it out your window and him getting it than actually trying to communicate with him. Here, it's a lot more what I would imagine would be direct, since you are the principal leads in, like, their cash cow. And you did have a relationship with him directly not too long ago. So I just feel...
Man, goddamn, Charlie. Honestly surprised, you know?
feel like those are two very different things to try and compare. These are the stars of the content.
They're grown-ass adults. There's plenty of opportunity in LA. Fuck Darmon. Nah, it doesn't work that way, man. Yeah, that's crazy. But, yeah, this guy's cooking.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is he playing... What game is this? Looks kind of cool.
And some of these surveys look pretty good. I mean, 106 is a 8. I mean, yeah, you have a combined 1% under a 7 out of 10.
What does that have to do with anything, though? If I'm doing a survey, I'm telling you right now, I'm just doing the quickest way. But regardless, this has nothing to do with the actual core problem. This is all ancillary nonsense that doesn't actually matter to what's happening currently.
Okay.
Bro's chat has been in complete disarray for 2 days because of this game. Wait, really? That's wild. Who the fuck would even give a shit in Charlie's community that he's playing fucking Harry Potter? That's legitimately... Yeah, there's a battle going on. Wait, really? That's kind of odd. I'm surprised. Oh, he has a lot of anti-trans, anti-vaxxers watching him. They didn't mean the good kind. Oh, people are just like, yeah, thank God you're playing this. Also, fuck trans people? Like, what the fuck? That's insane. This chat has been in disarray over the game and you haven't played it. It's understandable that my chat would be in disarray. The only time they unify is at the top of the hour to fucking, avoid it by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime or by getting gifted a sub, dog. That's the only time this community unifies under one banner and they fucking give me a 10-10 because that was a good segue. MP Shark, thank you for the 5. Get the subs. I don't know about XQC chat, but other chats are even confused if JKR is anti-gay or if she's gay too. Normie discourse is even wilder. I love that. So people are like, wait a minute, I heard we're not supposed to play this game because J.K. Rowling is gay. And then someone's like, no, idiot, J.K. Rowling is anti-gay. That's what they're talking about? Oh, I love that. Meanwhile, it's like, I kind of want to hear what like normal people think about this. Like what are normal people like two normal people trying to have this conversation by like understanding what the fuck the problem even is? Like they want to participate in the discourse, so they're just like looking at it from the outside. They're like, yeah, well, I don't know. Normal people don't care about Harry Potter. Yes, they do. What? Oh, no, they definitely do, man. They definitely do, brother. You think normal people don't care about Harry Potter? They 100% do.
Then the takeaway from all this is,
yeah,
like,
Harry Potter is slightly less popular than the fucking Bible. I don't know what you're talking about, okay? And motherfuckers have waged wars for the other literary work for a long ass time.
predictions and shit. I can make a conclusion, but here's the take. Hey, Darman, get your dumbass to the studio and talk to some of these folks. And if you don't agree with them, say no.
I was in a bar in Fouquet, Varina, North Carolina. Wait, is this a joke? Is that a real place? The other day with my homie, the bartender asked if we watched Twitch because we wanted to tell my friend he looked like Moist Critical. And he also talked about how we just bought the Harry Potter game and is playing it after putting his kid to bed before going to work, and it's pretty fun. That's most people. I doubt he has any idea about the controversy. No, of course he doesn't have any idea about the controversy. Yeah, most people are like, I want to feel like I'm a kid again when I like read the books and shit. And when I was a kid, like, bro, I had Harry Potter dreams and shit when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like when I read the books, I loved it. And I thought Hogwarts would be sick if it was a real place. And most like millennial adults probably feel the same way. It was profoundly, his chat was aggressively siding with J.K. Rowling or confused as hell. J.K. Rowling? I love J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is the greatest living author. Oops. Lamau, wrong tab. James has the goofiest sprint. Why are people malding? So, Hellboy-san wanted to talk to that Cho girl. Okay, chill, dude. Why are you outing me? I don't give a fuck about it now, but when are we going to talk about the real Harry Potter controversy? All that witchcraft is sinful? Thank you. I agree.
And if they don't agree, well, they can quit.
That's exactly right. No one has ever argued that point. We've made it there. That is the core issue. Darman, talk to us. We don't agree with our pay. Whether or not we are right in disagreeing with it, it's irrelevant. We just want to talk about it. Stop letting people go when they try to talk to you, and please stop dodging our meetings. That's the core. That is what the protest is about.
That's it. Well, this is my 8-second video. Hey, Darman, go to the studio, motherfucker, and talk to some of these folks.
Motherfucker.
Hat.
Okay.
That's
Fuck
it.
yeah. Yeah,
So we
thank
solved
you. Yes, we got there. Yeah.
All right. Boom. That was fair enough. See?
Have you seen the Atomic Heart game controversy? I don't know what it is, but I'm going to play it, and I don't care. I'm sick and tired of motherfuckers telling me I'm not allowed to play games, okay? We're done with that.
I enjoyed this very healthy discussion. Thanks for debunking it for me.
Hey, no worries, man. I appreciate the discussion as well. I hope What are you playing a game tonight, or what are you doing tonight?
Oh yeah, playing some scary game, some shit. But yeah, okay.
Mother sucker.